By the memo you've just read, it actually says over the treatment, the allegations of inhuman treatment. That is separate. Commissioner, I must land. Yes. That is separate from the case that is pending before the court. It's clear that they want to ask the IG questions concerning what they believe is inhuman treatment of a senator. That is, in their view, a legitimate issue that should be addressed with the IG.
It's before the court.
No, that's not what...
Senator Dino has approached the court. But the matter is adjourned to 11th.
So on the basis of
that... Are they going to be a judge? Are they going to be a judge in their own case?
I don't think the National Assembly, in fairness, has said that they're going to render a judgment. I believe that they want to ask questions for clarification.
A brief was written to them. A DIG went there to explain what has happened. Why are you insisting it must be DIG? Now, we want to grow the democracy. That's what I want you to understand. We want to grow democracy. We want the court, the arm of government that is responsible for interpreting the law, to interpret whether each time the Inspector General of Police is invited to appear before the National Assembly, whether he must, as a matter of fact, appear in person. That is before the court. Let the court decide that.
Okay, Commissioner, looking at the larger cultural issue that's at stake now, given this very unfortunate dynamic that all of us are watching unfold, are you not at all concerned that your institution, the police force, which of course has its own hierarchy, rank and file, its own culture, its own structure, that if young officers, middle cadre officers, are seeing the IG essentially interact with other branches of government in this fashion, that it might send a signal about potentially a culture of impunity that is acceptable? Are you not concerned about that at all?
No, there's no culture of impunity, my brother. There's no culture of impunity. I have emphasized before, and let me repeat again, that over the time, IG has appeared over 10 times before the National Assembly. I've made that point. It's not a culture of impunity. I said IG respects the National Assembly. He values them. There are men of integrity there. But just that some of them just open mouth and say some certain things that they shouldn't say. IG has appeared before them. But on this particular case, he traveled with the president. I don't want to repeat myself.
No,
and he sent his delegation.
I think that's where...
So what the IG is fighting for now, I said this IG is one person that should be commended for growing democracy. He's going to the court. Please, court, I want you to look at this, my power. Decide whether each time the IG, Inspector General of Police, is invited, whether he must, as a matter of fact, appear in person or send a delegation. If the court takes a decision on that, the IG will abide by it. It is for the benefit of democracy. IG is not an enemy of democracy. He respects them. He has been going there over 10 times since his appointment. What else is more?
Commissioner, just hold your thought for one moment. We're going to throw it over to Lagos, where my colleague Neota is standing by. Neota?
Commissioner of Police, the question I want to ask is, if the president invites or summons the IG to his office, would he send his deputy or his assistant?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
If the president invites the IGP to his office, would he send his assistant or his deputy?
Well, that is a different scenario.
How?
It's a different scenario. You may not know why the president is inviting the IG. So, but if it is a matter that is before the public domain, an official matter, IG can exercise his power of delegation. But if the president invites the IG on some issues, he has to go in person. But I also want you to understand that the Inspector General of Police had cause to send the DIG operation or some other senior officers to represent him on some assignment at the presidency. So he can. Why not?
So the assignments the IG had outside of the Federal Capital Territory, he could not delegate it and appear to brief the Senate on the killings across the country, because that appears to be the main issue. What you're talking about, Senator Dino Melaya, appears to be an addendum.
No, you are wrong. You are wrong, my brother. You are wrong. If you look at the letter of invitation, the issue of Dino Melaya was the main focus. The killing is not the main issue. That killing was just added there for them to just say they are doing the right thing. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if he's traveling to Bauchi State and he requires the chief security officer of this country to go with him, he has to go there. They visited Bauchi State based on security matters, not because of an alleged violation of an individual at the Senate who has no power or who does not enjoy immunity.
Commissioner, if the Nigerian Senate it's clearly written there on the document that you brought before us, which is "and other killings across Nigeria," can you, knowing the severity of what's going on in the country today, can you feel comfortable saying that this is just about personal issues when in fact people are dying around the country and the Senate is looking for answers into those things?
One of the ways to find answers to the security challenges we are having now is for the Senate to pass the budget so that the police will have money to run, to police the nation.
But that has nothing, that's separate from the issue of strategy. If the Inspector General of Police is the commanding officer, the chief executive and operating officer of the Nigeria Police Force, setting the tone for strategy and operations, then naturally, wouldn't it be right and adequate for the Senate to see the IG so that he can give a comprehensive overview in a way that a DIG of operations simply cannot?
If the Senate is sincerely interested in discussing security matters, they shouldn't be doing that on the national television. Security matters, security challenges shouldn't be discussed on the pages of newspaper or on the national television. But again, having said that, yes, we have security challenges, but I want you to understand that this IG has performed creditably well. If you see the security challenges we're having in Benue State, for instance, you watched television about 4 days ago, the parade that was made by the IG Intelligence Response Team and the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the good job they are doing there. As I speak with you, a lot of, they are going to do parade in Kaduna, how they are dealing with the security challenges in Kaduna. 60% of the kidnapping cases you have so far have in this country, the suspects have been arrested and are being prosecuted. Credit should be given to the Inspector General of Police. There is no nation in the world where you don't have crime. America went to Iraq with the world. He saw what happened. We are facing security challenges, and the Inspector General of Police is doing his best to ensure that we overcome this. The National Assembly should encourage him by passing the budget so that he will have the money to do the necessary things to tackle the security challenges. It's not by declaring him an enemy of democracy.
This is just it. If the response to the Senate's declaration that he's incompetent and unfit to hold public office is that the Senate's position is laughable, do you think that creates the conditions for the National Assembly now to approve the kind of funds that he says that he needs to run the force?
They're not approving funds for Inspector General of Police.
No, for the force.
The fund they're approving is for the Nigerian Police Force.
No, that's what I said.
And that is for security. So if they say because the Inspector General of Police is in court and they don't want to approve budget, I don't want to comment. We leave that to Nigerians to comment. It's a security matter.
Very quickly, does the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the Federal Republic, does he support the IG's position that he's going to go to court before appearing before the National Assembly on these issues?
I wouldn't know whether the President supports the IG's position. But the issue is that any Nigerian who is aggrieved, the only place you can ventilate your grievances is the court. You don't go to any other place, you go to the court. And that is why I say the IG should be commended for trying to grow our democracy. It's growing the democracy. This is in court. And we're going to go to court to challenge this resolution they made yesterday. We'll go to court. That's the only place we can go.
Certainly, your position is at variance with some other people's position, and it's going to be a conversation that continues. And we'll see how the whole situation unfolds. But this morning, I want to thank you for coming on the program, Commissioner. It's been a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I want to repeat that the IG is not an enemy of democracy, and he respects democracy.
Standing by with us has been the Commissioner of Police in charge of legal at the federal headquarters of the Nigeria Police Force, Commissioner David Igbodo. At this juncture, we are going to take a short break. We will be back in a moment. Please do stay with us.